Have you ever watched someone completely transform their life in what seemed like impossible circumstances and wondered what they had that you don't? I'm talking about people who went from homeless to millionaire, from high school dropout to CEO, from complete unknown to global influence. What if I told you the secret isn't talent, luck, or even hard work? It's something far more powerful and completely within your control right now. Today we're diving deep into the most underestimated force in human achievement: radical self-belief. Not the fluffy, positive thinking you see on Instagram posts, but the kind of bone-deep conviction that literally rewires your brain and changes your reality. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly how to develop this superpower and why most people never access even 10% of what's possible for them. Let me start with a story that will blow your mind. In the 1950s, doctors told patients with multiple personality disorder something fascinating. When one personality took over, the person might need glasses. But when they switched to another personality, their vision would become perfect. Same eyes, same brain, but completely different physical reality based on belief. This isn't metaphysical nonsense. This is documented medical science showing us that belief literally changes biology. Your brain doesn't distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what actually happens. When you truly believe something about yourself at the deepest level, your nervous system, your behavior, and even your physiology align to make that belief real. This is why radical self-belief isn't just nice to have. It's the operating system that runs everything else. But here's where most people get it completely wrong. They think self-belief means thinking positive thoughts or repeating affirmations in the mirror. That's surface-level stuff that your subconscious mind will reject faster than bad food. Real self-belief is about fundamentally changing your identity at the core level. Think about this. Right now, you have a story about who you are. Maybe you're someone who's not good with money. Maybe you're someone who's not naturally confident. Maybe you're someone who's just not destined for big success. These stories feel true because you've collected evidence for them over years, or even decades. But here's the thing that will change everything for you. Those stories are just that. Stories. And stories can be rewritten. The people who achieve extraordinary things don't have access to some secret information you don't have. They simply operate from a different story about what's possible for them. When Oprah was growing up in poverty, being abused, and facing every disadvantage you can imagine, something inside her maintained the story that she was destined for greatness. That wasn't delusion. That was radical self-belief, creating a reality that matched the internal conviction. Now let me show you exactly how this works in your brain. Every time you think a thought, you strengthen neural pathways. Think the same thought repeatedly, and those pathways become superhighways. This is why your current beliefs feel so automatic and true. You've literally wired your brain to support them. But neuroplasticity research shows us something incredible. You can rewire those pathways at any age, creating new superhighways that support completely different beliefs about yourself. The process starts with what I call identity shifting. Instead of trying to convince yourself you're already successful when you're not, you begin identifying as the type of person who becomes successful. You don't pretend to be a millionaire when you're broke. You start identifying as someone who understands money, who makes smart financial decisions, who sees opportunities others miss. Feel the difference? One is fantasy, the other is transformation. Here's the practical part that changes everything. Start monitoring your internal dialogue like your life depends on it, because it does. Every time you catch yourself saying or thinking something that reinforces your old story, interrupt it immediately. Not with fake positivity, but with curiosity. Instead of, "I'm terrible with money," try, "I'm learning to understand money better." Instead of, "I always mess things up," try, "I'm developing better systems and skills." This might sound simple, but it's revolutionary because you're literally reprogramming the most powerful computer in the universe, your own mind. Most people spend more time maintaining their cars than maintaining their mindset, then wonder why their lives don't improve. But radical self-belief goes deeper than changing your thoughts. It's about changing your standards and expectations for yourself. People with extraordinary self-belief don't hope for good things to happen. They expect them. They don't try to succeed. They operate from the assumption that success is inevitable, and they're just figuring out the how and when. This creates what psychologists call a self-fulfilling prophecy, but it's so much more powerful than that phrase suggests. When you truly expect success, you notice different opportunities. You take different actions. You persist through challenges that would stop others because those challenges don't fit your story about how your life works. Let me give you a framework that will accelerate this process dramatically. Start acting as if you already are the person you want to become, but do it intelligently. If you want to be an entrepreneur, start consuming content like an entrepreneur, thinking like an entrepreneur, solving problems like an entrepreneur. If you want to be wealthy, start studying wealth, hanging around wealthy people, developing wealthy habits. You're not pretending to be something you're not. You're practicing being who you're becoming. Here's where it gets really interesting. Radical self-belief doesn't mean believing you'll never fail or face challenges. It means believing you'll figure out whatever you need to figure out. It means believing that every failure is data, every setback is set up for a comeback, every challenge is making you stronger and smarter. This distinction is crucial because a lot of people avoid developing strong self-belief because they think it means being unrealistic or setting themselves up for disappointment. But the opposite is true. Radical self-belief makes you more realistic, not less, because you stop making excuses and start making progress. The most successful people I know aren't the most naturally talented. They're the ones who believed in themselves so completely that they kept going when everyone else would have quit. They asked different questions. Instead of, "What if I fail?" they asked, "What if I succeed beyond my wildest dreams?" Instead of, "What if people judge me?" they asked, "What if I inspire people by showing what's possible?" Your questions shape your reality because your brain is always looking for answers. Ask limiting questions, get limiting answers. Ask empowering questions, get empowering answers. This is why radical self-belief isn't just about feeling good about yourself. It's about accessing possibilities that simply don't exist when you operate from doubt and limitation. Now, let me address the elephant in the room. You might be thinking this sounds too good to be true or too simple to work. That's your old programming talking. The same programming that has kept you where you are instead of where you want to be. The truth is, the most powerful tools are often the simplest ones. We just convince ourselves they won't work because we're addicted to complexity and struggle. But here's what you need to understand about implementation. Radical self-belief isn't built in a day. It's built through consistent daily practice of choosing thoughts, words, and actions that align with who you're becoming rather than who you've been. Every day, you're either strengthening your old story or building your new one. There's no neutral ground. Start today with this simple practice. Before you go to sleep tonight, spend 10 minutes visualizing yourself already being the person you want to become. Not just achieving the goals, but actually being that person. How do they think? How do they carry themselves? How do they respond to challenges? How do they treat other people? Make it so vivid that your nervous system starts adapting to support this new identity. The most important thing I can leave you with is this. You already have everything you need to completely transform your life. The only thing standing between you and your dreams isn't lack of resources, opportunities, or even skills. It's the story you tell yourself about what's possible for someone like you. Today is the day you start telling a different story. Today is the day you choose radical self-belief over comfortable limitation. Your future self is waiting for you to make this decision, and trust me, they're counting on you to make the right choice. What will you choose? Drop a comment below and let me know what story you're ready to rewrite. And if this video shifted something for you, hit that like button and subscribe, because we're just getting started on this journey to unlocking your true potential. Remember, you're not just watching content, you're investing in becoming the person you're meant to be.